Yep, so getting in some more gi rolls. He's getting ready for competition, so he's going to get a few or a little bit of a harder roll in, but nothing too hard. Just going to show him a few things, and then I fight for the inside right there. I'm underneath his arms. I go over his arm, start setting up the posture. He does a good job of trying to grab my belt and then come into my legs, but he can't control my hips there. So I start sneaking his hand over. I'm actually basically choking him on the underside. Y'all guys can't see that because of how I have his lapel. But what I'm doing is I'm actually using that to distract him from paying attention to his hands. I'll elevate him, and then I'll walk his hand back. So you can, yeah, there's the tap. It's slow and steady. He was paying attention somewhere else, and he wasn't defending his hand as well as he should have. See how he has the inside now? That's a better position. He starts hunkering down, though, and this allows me to control his posture and then to basically press into him. Just shoulder shuck him down and then change. And right here, I use a Nelson position to control him. I was going to use it as a transition, but submission works as well. Try to be safe if you do that to your partners. Yep. See right here, I go across. This gives me a lot more control to just drive into using his chin and his arm for that control to drag him down. I'm walking on the outside, but I'm literally just putting a lot of pressure on his shoulder to keep him down. And gi changes things up a little bit. It allows you to put pressure and hold people in ways that no gi does not allow you to. And I'm being a little lazy with my feet here, but I want him to shoot over, to follow my backside, but he doesn't. So I just take the tap. He's doing a good job, though. He's got very good natural body positioning, but then he likes to hold on to things a little bit too long. Here, I have his back pretty decent, and then he'll swap over in a little bit to try to go for a foot lock or ankle lock on me while I have his back. I don't think you should really try to attack while you're on the back, but it's good to make people think. But because of that, I actually ankle lock him because, you want to go to the dark arts. I will bring them to you. But we go back up, and you'll see right here, he gets good penetration, and he just misstepped. If he would have kept driving, he would have been able to take that, no problem. He also went for a little bit of a higher hip when he kept pressuring in. So, but you'll see here I'm using the back of his lapel to basically push him flat into the mat so I can get mount. Here I'm just working that arm up to isolate. And once I have it isolated, I don't even bother to straighten out or anything because of how he has it. It's going to bind up. I can feel the pressure in our roll, how his arm is. It's already prostrated. So it already has torque on it and just a little bit of pressure. Yeah, if you see, I stay very sideways to him, and that makes that sweep super easy. And then I just straight knee cut pass right over, and I just use a little bit of pressure to hold him because I'm not sure where I want to go just yet. And then he isolates his own hand for me, but then he tucks it back in so he can roll up into turtle, and I was like, nope. And then I decide to try to be cheeky, and then it doesn't work. We go right back to turtle, and I was just silly. So I was like, okay, we'll just swap hand positions, and we'll go into the the anaconda. Yeah, he gets his hand up there to grab my belt, but unfortunately, because of the positioning, it's not really going to matter. Yeah. It's not a bad defense to get your arm out away from your neck, but because his arm was still relatively straight when it was grabbing my belt, it doesn't allow for this space. And this is something interesting that I like to do a lot, is just when every time someone grabs your legs is just peel at their elbows, almost go for a crucifix position all the time. And he holds on too long there. And because he holds on too long, it goes straight into an arm bar. Yep, good level change, good penetration, but his head, he stuffs his own head using my body, and he penetrated straight under. And right here, he needs to control his own posture back again, because I start getting his arm free. He let his arm free, so now he needed to roll. He had a good idea, so I help him roll over. And we'll see this in a little bit again. Yep, it was a good idea. He turned out, and then he controls his posture, but, you know, good old belt sweep. It's too connected for it not to be a strong, hold. And right here, we're almost in the same setup we were earlier, where he should ride the butt line, but I change it up, and I let him roll again. And then right here, I set up almost like a scissor sweep choke, but it's more of a stifling thing. It wasn't meant to choke him. It was more meant for him to move around. But then he didn't move because he got kind of stuck. But it will work as a choke if you want to squeeze a little hard and trap him a little bit. But it's not a very solidified position. So, yeah, he does a good job of getting back around to my back. But he puts his hands too high. And when he put his hands too high, it allowed me to gain control and isolate his arm. Yeah. Gotta switch those hips around sometimes. I just lay back and just pull them into back mount. I'm being real lazy with the bottom hook because I couldn't get his body up high enough for me to come over. So I swap over and I tried to go for the back mount, but I ended up coming straight into the arm triangle. I mean the arm bar, and then swapping over to an Americana. This is us just having a conversation about how the late arm bar defense works. And I was explaining to him how you don't want to put it behind your head. And that's how he thought it was supposed to go. And I told him just put it above your head. Like, if you put it behind you, you do not have as much space as you would if you just put it above you. Because when you put it behind you, your head can't rotate all the way, and it traps it, just like your shoulder would trap it if you were pinned against the floor. So even if it's behind him, I could still get the arm bar. It's hard enough for him to sit up here, as you can see. But if he sits towards me, he'll make that space, but you can see how his head can't touch the mat or any of that stuff. So it's isolating the space away from him. Where if he pushes my fucking foot above it, he can literally put his head to the mat and use that as a pivot point as well. But it also allows a lot more space and allows a lot more driving force. You can build up more momentum that way. So if you're putting the leg behind the head, you're stifling yourself a little bit. It was a good roll. He's getting very good. He's got a competition coming up, so he needed a little bit of a harder roll, I guess. So we turned it up just a little bit, but he's going to be competition ready. Just give him a little bit of time. He's got a few months left. Well, have a good one, guys.